Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. This is Running on Empty Food Review, and I am your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you, Burger King. I say that with sincerity, because for the last however many weeks I've just been saying to myself, please, can some place just release something? Can they release anything at this point? I just want something new, some new item out. And Burger King was the first one to do it. I've heard that there's going to be some other new releases coming up from different places as well. But Burger King was the first to do it. And they're making some headlines in the process. Lieth in this bag is a sandwich which goes by the name Big King XL. And for those of you that might be unsure as to what the XL abbreviation stands for, I did a little bit of research myself, and it stands for xylophone limousine, because nothing is really larger than that, so they tried to put the XL there to emphasize how huge this sandwich is. Not only that, however, but this is also trying to compete with McDonald's Big Mac sandwich, of course, a very famous sandwich. Believe it or not, I kid you not, I had a Big Mac for lunch today, so we'll really compare the two. On this sandwich, 2 quarter-pound patties, totaling a half-pound, granted, of their flame-grilled beef, American cheese, sliced onions, zesty, they had to use the word zesty pickles, lettuce, stacker sauce, on a sesame seed bun. So this is really, when you look at it, Burger King's way of trying to compete with the Big Mac. Sans the middle bun. It doesn't have that center bun, and, from my understanding anyway, we'll see it in a minute, the portion size is going to be significantly larger than, say, the patties that you would get on a Big Mac. Now, the price for this sandwich was $6.50. It may differ in your location, but expect this to be not the cheapest sandwich in the world, but if it ends up being good, and, well, maybe it'll be worth it. But it's just interesting, Burger King, they're trying to start a beef. So you get the joke, because there's beef on the sandwich, and they're trying to start a beef with McDonald's. Yeah, I know you guys got that one. By trying to say, well, this is our Big Mac, and it is allegedly better than yours. Who knows, to be quite honest. I always try to handle these with as much impartiality as I can, though sometimes a bad experience can leave a bad, in many cases, quite literal bad taste in my mouth. Let's use this for any trash if necessary. And here it is. It is a heavy sandwich. I gotta give them credit on that. You can see, again, they marked it as they did, XL, xylophone limousine, right there. You can see even the king's crown. This is the king of all the sandwiches, from no place other than Burger King. I guess I'll do it right now, get the promotional out of the way. Of course, I do my podcast every week. You can find it at soundcloud.com/VORW. soundcloud.com/VORW. You want to ask, well, why should I listen to it? Check it out. Decision making difficult decisions. Do you want to go between the Big Mac or the Big King XL? I talk about making tough choices in my newest show. Give it a listen if you're interested. So here is what it looks like. Let's get this for there we go. That 500 kilowatt, I don't know what I was going for there. There's the sandwich, you got a view of it. Big King XL. Fresh, picked it up fresh. You can see the sesame seed bun. Let's just go through the layers real quick. Again, there is no middle bun to this. That's where it kind of does not necessarily go step for step with the Big Mac. You can see that top bun right there with some of the stacker sauce as well as some lettuce and a pickle. On here, some of the onions, pickles, cheese, more stacker sauce, and 2 patties which to my understanding, yeah, there's nothing below. You can see right here, there's a pickle almost on the verge of sliding into my palm. Guess it just wants to escape. I don't know, nah, sorry, pickle. I'm sorry, you're back on the sandwich. So, that said, let's just try it out. Let's see, does it taste like a Big Mac? How good is it? How bad is it? We'll find out. Big King XL from Burger King. It's going in. One more bite. You know, I gotta give him credit where it's due, right? I have had my complaints, especially in regards to the Big King series, in regards to the patties and the quality thereof, right? Because these sandwiches are huge. Let's get that right off the table first. This is a massive sandwich. I mean, it's huge, it weighs a lot. That's a half pound of beef. And if that beef that you're getting is dried up, it tastes like you know what, it's terrible, then what's the point of even getting the sandwich? So the quality of the beef that you get on this sandwich is key, and I gotta give him credit. This is actually juicy, it's flavorful, and it tastes good. So the quality of the beef itself is better than I anticipated. I think that's one thing that Burger King has kind of stepped up in the last few years, because in 2016, I'm pretty sure when they first did the Big King lineup, it was terrible, and I remember it was one of the worst things I ever reviewed. So they bounced back from that, and the beef was good quality, juicy, tasted good. Okay, we got that out of the way. What about the cheese? The American cheese certainly blends together good. It wasn't rubbery, it actually was kind of melted. It held those two patties together, certainly blended in there, was pretty flavorful. The sliced onions, potent, definitely stands out. You could definitely taste those onions. The pickles, now, this is the one thing. I wouldn't necessarily describe the pickles as zesty. If anything, I would describe their stacker sauce, perhaps, as being more on the zesty side than the pickles. The pickles kind of get lost in there. They're really not emphasized. But you consider how much food you're getting. Those three pickles kind of get lost in there. Well, the lettuce is just, it's there. The bun, it held everything together. And that stacker sauce, does it taste like that Big Mac sauce? The secret sauce, the Thousand Island dressing, as everyone likes to kind of joke around and say. There is definitely a difference. It does have those similarities, where it does have that kind of zesty tang to it, but it certainly is its own entity. With that being said, does the Big King XL taste like a Big Mac? Because again, I kid you not, probably 6 hours ago, I went over to McDonald's, I had a Big Mac for lunch, I didn't even think they had this out yet. They're different. It's obvious that Burger King is trying to, compete with McDonald's on this, but the portion size here is much larger than what you would get at McDonald's. This is $6.50. It's Burger King's take on the Big Mac. It's bigger, there's a much greater emphasis on those beef patties, and if those beef patties are cooked well and they're juicy and flavorful like mine was, then I think you're actually going to enjoy this sandwich as long as you have that appetite for it, because the stacker sauce adds a nice touch to it. Do not expect for it to be a play-by-play Big Mac, because it isn't. But again, these two beef patties, they're the bulk of the sandwich. It's a half pound. If they do them right, you're going to be in for a treat. It's a pretty good sandwich if, as I said, the beef is of good quality. Therefore, out of 10, I'm going to be giving this an 8.6 out of 10, because I don't have much to complain about. I'm satisfied with the sandwich. Beef was fine. The sauce, again, it was definitely its own, so it's not like they're trying to copy McDonald's, ingredient for ingredient, but it all ties together. So that's all that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Report of the Week, and today's review was for the Big King Xylophone Limousine Sandwich from Burger King, also known as the Big King XL. Thank you for watching this review, and do take care. On one final note, be sure to check out my Teespring store at teespring.com/stores/the Report of the Week. It's just a good way to help out this channel, this radio show, keep things going, and to just get some cool merch for you to to wear if you want to. So check it out if you're interested, and that's all that I have. Thank you, and take care.